Every new day is a fight for survival. Run or be crushed. Fangs and claws tear through every fragile hope. One creature's death feeds another's life. A merciless cycle that never stops turning. In the far northwest of Namibia lies the Namib Desert, one of the oldest and harshest landscapes on Earth, stretching all the way to the Skeleton Coast. Endless red dunes roll toward the horizon, meeting the cold fog that rolls in from the Atlantic every dawn. As the eastern sky begins to lighten, a low, hunched silhouette moves across the cold sand. The brown hyena has covered nearly 15 miles since sunset, its long black snout sweeping the ground for any trace of life. Unlike the spotted hyena, which lives and hunts in clans, the brown hyena is a solitary wanderer. Its nightly trek can stretch the length of a marathon, all for the chance of an uncertain meal. In the Namib, persistence counts for more than speed. At first light, a strange scent drifts on the wind damp, utterly unlike the cracked, dry sand all around. The brown hyena changes course at once, following the scent to the edge of a shallow pool in the dry riverbed. But it isn't alone there. A herd of oryx has already gathered at the waterhole, their straight horns nearly 3 feet long, glinting in the moonlight. Oryx are among the few antelope that can survive for weeks without drinking, thanks to their ability to let their body temperature climb far higher than most mammals could tolerate, cutting the need to sweat. Still, when water is on offer, they never pass it up. The brown hyena weighs its odds. A wary herd of oryx, armed with weapons on their heads, is not a target it dares approach. It retreats to a withered bush, settles low, and waits. That is the species' entire survival strategy, not the strongest, but the one who can outweight everyone else. Less than half a mile from the waterhole, a pride of lions has lain hidden since before sunset. Longer-legged and leaner than their Serengeti cousins, their build has adapted for covering greater distances on less water. Researcher Flipstander, who has tracked the Namib's desert lions for 2 decades, has documented something unusual. This is one of the very few lion populations on Earth that hunts oryx as a primary food source. This land holds no wildebeest, no zebra. The oryx is almost the only option there is. An oryx's sword-length horns can bring down a full-grown lion if it turns to face its attacker with a cool head. But the lions never give it that chance. They stay hidden behind sparse thickets, moving low and slow, leaving no trace on the sand. At under 50 feet, the lions explode into a full sprint. The oryx panics and wheels away a fatal mistake. The lion closes the gap. A bite to the throat ends the struggle in seconds. From its bush, the brown hyena watches the entire hunt without moving a muscle. It has learned that moving in too soon means death. Less than an hour later, the pride leaves the oryx carcass, bellies full. They waste no energy guarding what's left in the desert. The calories spent defending a kill can cost more than the kill is worth. This is the moment the brown hyena has waited for since midnight. It moves in and strips nearly everything that remains within minutes. In the Namib, life always finds a way through, even when the price is another creature's death. Thousands of miles west of Africa, across the Atlantic, lies a forest most people have never heard of. The Mata Atlântica, Brazil's Atlantic rainforest. Not as famous as the Amazon, not as vast as the Congo, but the density of life packed into every hectare here ranks among the highest on the planet. "20,000 plant species, 936 bird species, nearly 300 mammal species, all crowded into a narrow strip of forest running along Brazil's southeastern coast, where 80% of the country's population lives right next door. Today, only 7 to 8% of the original forest remains. The forest shrinks a little more every day, and within that ever-tightening space, the struggle between hunter and hunted has grown fiercer than ever. Only 2% of sunlight filters through the canopy, falling to the forest floor as streaks of golden dust within a darkness that seems eternal. "90% humidity turns the air into visible mist. The scent of rotting leaves blankets everything. But the Atlantic forest is unlike any other forest on Earth. It doesn't just spread wide, it climbs high. From a pitch-black floor where not a single ray of light reaches, through dense understory, up into the mid-canopy, to the tallest crowns brushing the sky. Each layer is its own world, and every world has its own killer. In a forest where every layer holds something waiting, where can prey possibly run? The story begins at the darkest place of all the forest floor. Nowhere here is safe. It starts where the shadows run deepest. The floor of the Atlantic forest is a kingdom of darkness. Centuries of decaying leaves have built up into a soft, spongy carpet that swallows every footstep. The smell of damp earth and fungus hangs over everything like an invisible curtain. This is jaguar territory, the only big cat native to the Americas, and the most solitary, most patient hunter living in the dark. Weighing between 120 and 210 pounds, the Atlantic forest jaguar is smaller than its cousins in the Pantanal wetlands. But that compact build is an advantage, perfectly suited to the tight spaces between close-packed trunks, where agility decides everything. Its coat is covered in rosettes, each pattern as unique as a fingerprint. In the rare patches of dappled light that break through the canopy, those markings turn the jaguar into a ghost, dissolving completely into the forest floor. Some individuals carry an entirely black coat, melanistic jaguars. Even on that dark background, catch the light at the right angle, and the rosettes still surface, faint as a hidden tattoo. Every jaguar carries the same design, only the outer coat differs. Yet raw power isn't the jaguar's most fearsome weapon. Patience is. A jaguar doesn't give chase. It lies motionless in the dark for hours on end. Not a muscle twitches. Its breathing slows until it seems to stop altogether. Until prey wanders within range of a single, final lunge. And this is the only big cat on Earth that regularly hunts crocodilians. Pound for pound, the jaguar's bite is the strongest of any big cat, strong enough to crush a caiman's skull. A single bite. A technique no other cat on the planet dares attempt. In almost any other forest across the Americas, a jaguar might share its range with thousands of others. Here in the Atlantic forest, the story is entirely different. Only 250 to 300 individuals remain. Eight small populations, fractured by highways, farmland, and cities, surviving on less than 3% of their original range. Every jaguar here is a ghost, not only for how well it hides, but because the species itself is slowly disappearing. Even a ghost, though, must eat. And somewhere in the tangled forest is prey large enough to awaken a predator's oldest instincts, the largest prey the forest has to offer. The capybara, the largest rodent on Earth. Weighing up to 143 pounds, they live in groups along rivers and streams. Webbed feet and eyes, ears and nose set high on the skull, the capybara was built to live on the border between land and water. And water is its escape route whenever danger appears. They are the jaguar's most common prey in the Atlantic forest. An adult strays from the group. The jaguar breaks from cover. The capybara never reaches the water. One pounce, one bite through the skull, it's over in an instant. This is why the jaguar ambushes at close range. Instead of chasing, it needs only a single moment. Yet the forest floor is only half the story. Above, where light begins to filter through gaps in the leaves, lies another layer, the understory. The layer most crowded with species per hectare, where the struggle to survive plays out not between two rivals, but dozens. The understory. Not bright enough to see clearly, yet not dark enough to hide completely, a twilight zone where every encounter could be the last one. This is the most diverse layer in the entire Atlantic forest, the most species, the most interactions, and the most deaths. And the ruler of this layer is not the jaguar. The ocelot. A fraction of the jaguar's size, weighing just 18 to 33 pounds, the ocelot is, nonetheless, a masterpiece of natural selection, honed by evolution for this exact layer of forest. Its eyes see 6 times better in darkness than a human's. Behind its retina lies the tapetum lucidum, a biological mirror that reflects what little light remains, letting the ocelot turn nightfall into an advantage. Fully retractable claws keep every step utterly silent on the branches. The ocelot climbs trees, swims rivers, and ambushes on open ground, commanding every dimension of the mid-layer, something even the jaguar cannot manage on the forest floor. And its favorite prey in the Atlantic forest weighs barely more than a pound. The golden lion tamarin. This tiny primate exists in exactly one place on Earth, the coastal lowlands of Rio de Janeiro state. Nowhere else. There is no backup population. Lose this place, and the species is lost entirely. A mane of golden fur frames its small face like a miniature lion's, hence the name. Yet nothing about this creature suggests strength. They are prey purely, entirely, unconditionally. Living in small family groups, the whole troop helps raise the young. Long, slender fingers let them probe crevices in tree bark for insects. Still, foraging in the canopy means a constant watch for predators. This morning, a family of golden lion tamarins moves through the treetops. Twin infants, just 2 months old, take their first steps away from their parents' backs, learning to move by copying their older siblings. Their commotion, though, has drawn a predator. The ocelot. Only a few times the size of a house cat, but against these small primates, it can kill with a single bite. Its spotted coat lets the ocelot blend into the understory. Its broad paws let it move in near total silence, and it's agile enough to hunt right up in the branches. Something is wrong. The ocelot has been spotted. An alarm call rings out. The whole family bolts from the tree at once. The tamarin family needs to clear this area fast. Once night falls, the ocelot will be back to hunt. Even a hunter as perfectly built as the ocelot, though, isn't the only power in this layer. Something far stiller, far more patient, waits here too, something no eye can spot. Bothrop's jararaca, the pit viper that has come to symbolize the Atlantic forest, and the leading cause of snakebite across southeastern Brazil. The jararaca doesn't chase. It lies motionless among dead leaves, or along a branch for days at a stretch, waiting for anything to wander into striking range. Its weapon is a pair of heat-sensing pits between eye and nostril, able to detect the faintest shift in temperature. In the dark, every warm-blooded creature glows like a beacon. Unlike the ocelot, the jararaca is an invisible trap. Nothing knows it's there until the fangs strike. Its hemotoxic venom tears through the circulatory system fast, causing tissue death and organ failure. Yet that same venom would go on to spark one of medicine's great turning points. In 1965, Brazilian scientist Sergio Ferreira identified a compound in jararaca venom that paved the way for captopril, the first ACE inhibitor, a drug that has since saved millions of lives worldwide. Still, that chapter belongs to human history. Back in the Atlantic forest, the jararaca remains the quietest killer of the mid-layer. Still motionless, still patient, waiting for one careless footstep to land within striking range. Amid a layer thick with fangs, claws, and venom, one species survives without relying on physical weapons at all. Its weapon lies inside its skull, and it's more formidable than any set of claws. The capuchin monkey. Weighing 5 to 10 pounds, the capuchin is not the fastest, not the strongest, and certainly not the most dangerous animal in the mid-layer. Its brain-to-body ratio, though, ranks among the highest of any primate on Earth. And that brain has produced something almost no species besides humans has ever managed. Tool use. Capuchins use stones as hammers to crack open hard nuts. This isn't random behavior, it's a technique passed down across generations, the way a master craftsman trains an apprentice. Young capuchins learn by watching, by trial and error, by imitation. Miss once, miss twice, by the 10th try, the shell cracks. That isn't just instinct, that's culture. Where capuchin intelligence shows most clearly, though, is in their early warning system. Capuchins produce distinct calls depending on where a threat appears. Each signal triggers an immediate, appropriate response from the whole troop climbing higher or flattening against the foliage. It isn't just their own kind that listens. Many other forest species recognize and react to those warnings too. The capuchin has become a living radar system for the mid-layer. Intelligence, however, has its dark side. Primatologists have documented capuchins issuing false alarm calls purely to distract rivals and steal their food. Intelligence enough to protect the whole troop, and enough to deceive it too. Still, there is one hunter against whom even that warning system usually fails. Tell us in the comments below, between raw power, venom, and intelligence, which weapon do you think helps a creature survive longest in a forest where every layer kills? From the forest floor to the water's surface, from the mid-layer on up, 3 layers now lie behind. Every one of them holds something waiting. And every hunter relies on the very same weapon, patience. Yet is the highest layer, the sunlit canopy, the last refuge left. In the uppermost canopy of the Atlantic forest lives something against which even the most sophisticated warning system usually fails. With a wingspan of more than 6.5 feet, yet almost no sound, it can wait patiently for hours before dropping with a speed that leaves prey no time to react. The harpy eagle. The largest, most powerful bird of prey in the New World, weighing up to 20 pounds, with a wingspan exceeding 6.5 feet. The most frightening number, though, isn't weight or wingspan. It's the talons. 4 to 5 inches long, longer than a North American grizzly's claws, capable of piercing straight through a monkey's skull. Atop its head, two tufts of feathers stand like horns, raised or flattened depending on its mood. When those tufts rise, nothing in the canopy dares to move. Even so, size and weaponry aren't the harpy eagle's most terrifying trait. Silence is. The harpy eagle doesn't circle high overhead like a plains eagle. It perches on the highest branch, motionless for hours at a stretch, its eyes scanning the canopy below. Patience, the same weapon the jaguar uses on the forest floor, the caiman uses in the water, the ocelot uses in the mid-layer. Up here, though, at the very top of the Atlantic forest, patience reaches its purest form. A harpy eagle can perch an entire day without striking once, because when it finally does, it almost never misses. When it dives, it doesn't drop from high in the open sky. It flies straight through the canopy, threading between branches with a precision almost unimaginable for a bird with a wingspan over 6.5 feet. Prey never hears the wing beats coming. Even the canopy's ruler, though, is now in danger across the Atlantic forest. The harpy eagle is listed as near threatened, its population declining rapidly as the forest fragments and old-growth trees fall. Every ancient tree lost is a throne that vanishes with it. And today, from one of the last of those thrones, a harpy eagle looks down over the canopy. Each harpy eagle pair lays a single egg only once every 2 to 3 years, the slowest reproductive rate of any raptor on Earth. Losing one adult means years before it can ever be replaced. It has spotted something. The three-toed sloth. "9 pounds. The slowest mammal on Earth. Slowness, though, is the strategy. With a metabolism running at just 40% of normal, the sloth is nearly invisible. A coat colonized by green algae turns it into an extension of the branch itself. 15 hours of sleep a day. A single meal can take a month to digest. A perfect strategy unless the eyes looking down belong to a harpy eagle. The eagle has locked on. It waits patience against patience. The moment arrives. The harpy eagle plunges through the canopy. No cry, no chase. Only silence, and then an empty branch, as if nothing had ever been there at all. Not every creature in the canopy, though, chooses silence. One species takes the opposite strategy entirely. No patience, no stealth, no waiting. The howler monkey. Weighing 11 to 18 pounds, the howler monkey carries a weapon no other land animal possesses. A roar audible from more than 3 miles away, the loudest sound produced by any land mammal on Earth. The source of that power is the hyoid bone, an enlarged, hollow structure in the throat that transforms a simple call into a roar that echoes across the canopy like a natural loudspeaker. Across the wild, most species defend territory with fang and claw. The howler monkey uses sound, roaring at dawn and dusk, marking its boundaries without a single step taken, without a drop of blood spilled. Sound in place of violence. A roar in place of fangs. In a forest where every layer kills through silence, the howler monkey survives by shattering it. And remarkably, it works. Researchers have found that howler troops with the loudest roars tend to hold the most stable territories, fewer physical clashes, fewer injuries, less energy wasted on combat. Sound is a shield. And in a forest where every other species fights to survive, the howler monkey proves that sometimes the one who lasts longest is the one who never stays quiet. From the darkest forest floor to the highest treetop, one thread runs through it all: patience. One story, though, has yet to be told: how the golden lion tamarin returned from the brink of extinction. In the 1970s, conservationists were stunned to discover that barely 200 tamarins remained on the entire planet. One step from extinction, no second chance. And then humanity, the very force that had pushed them to the edge, chose to pull them back. An unprecedented rescue campaign began. Tamarins were bred across zoos worldwide, then reintroduced to their homeland. Local farmers who once cleared the forest became its protectors. Ecological corridors were stitched back together. The result was nothing short of a miracle. From 200, more than 3,200 now live free, having reclaimed wild instincts once thought lost for good. Make no mistake, though. 3,200 doesn't mean safe. It only means not yet extinct. The fight to keep these flecks of gold in the Atlantic canopy is far from over. From the darkest depths of the forest floor to the sunlit treetops, every layer of this vertical world has its own ruler. The one thing they all share is patience. Yet the Atlantic forest is more than a battlefield of survival. It is a vast ecological engine, where every living layer weaves into the next to form a single, perfect network. Every individual is a link in that chain. Pull one link free, and the system doesn't collapse all at once. It wavers, then fractures slowly, painfully. And time is not on this forest's side. Today, only 7 to 8% of the original forest still stands. Every hectare cleared erases an entire layer of this world, tearing apart a biological chain that took millions of years to evolve. Even so, hope hasn't run out. Ecological corridors are being painstakingly cultivated, reconnecting fractured patches of forest so the flow of life can continue. Those efforts point to a deeper truth. Extinction is not an inevitable fate. With enough care and enough action, even the very edge of the abyss can become the starting line for a rebirth. As the first rays of sunlight pierce the Serengeti mist, the Savannah does not awaken. It merely changes shift. 12,000 square miles of grassland transform from cold grey to blazing gold in under 15 minutes. And in that brief moment of dawn, 3 empires begin to stir. Three species, one Savannah, all competing for the same source of life. Yet 3 entirely different survival strategies, and each carries a price no one willingly pays. Welcome to Nature's Moments, where we explore the most extraordinary stories of the natural world. In the sun-bleached grass, chest high and swaying, a solitary lioness creeps forward in silence. She lowers her center of gravity, belly to the earth, ears flattened. Her tawny coat dissolves completely into the surrounding landscape. Amber eyes lock onto a wildebeest grazing barely 40 yards away. The male lion possesses the mane, the roar that carries 5 miles, the 650 psi bite force. Yet the lioness is the pride's true hunter. Without darkness for concealment, hunting beneath the open sun, a lion relies on a different weapon: stealth. Across the vast grassland, she is virtually invisible until the prey realizes it is already too late. Without pride mates to orchestrate an encirclement, she must stake everything on patience. Each footfall lands without a sound, closing the distance with lethal precision. "100 feet, the threshold of survival." 70% of the muscle fibers in a lion's legs are fast twitch, explosive to 50 miles per hour, yet sustainable for only about 600 feet before exhaustion sets in. The lioness launches. Jaws clamp down on the neck of a wildebeest weighing 300 pounds. Not a killing bite, a suffocating grip. 6 to 10 minutes of relentless constriction. A lion does not kill with fangs. A lion kills with patience. Yet the stark truth remains: Only 2 or 3 of every 10 hunts succeed. Seven failures, each one an irretrievable expenditure of energy. But a lion need not be perfect. She need only be more patient than her hunger. Less than half a mile away, through shimmering waves of heat rising from the baked earth, countless cunning eyes fix upon her. No fear in those gazes, only calculation. A laugh rings out. No, that is no laugh. It is a rallying cry. Crocuta, crocuta, the spotted hyena. Most people dismiss hyenas as mere scavengers. They could not be more wrong. "70% of a spotted hyena's diet comes from its own kills. Their hunt success rate reaches 60%, double that of any lion. But plunder always costs less than pursuit. And this morning, that exhausted lioness has laid bare a perfect feast under the African sun. The clan moves, not in a sprint, but at a sustained grinding pace. "35 miles per hour, maintained mile after mile. An oversized heart, cavernous lungs, and long legs concealed beneath that deceptively ungainly frame. Spotted hyenas live in clans of staggering scale, larger than any big cat society on the planet. And that society operates under absolute matriarchy. Females weigh up to 140 pounds, outmassing the males. The lowest-ranking female still outranks the most dominant male. Males here are little more than lodgers in their own home. Yet the hyena's most fearsome weapon is not clan discipline. It is the jaw. 1100 psi. nearly double that of a lion, enough to splinter the thigh bone of a buffalo. Hyenas waste nothing: flesh, bone, hide, hooves, teeth. Their stomachs dissolve everything except hair and horn. The spotted hyenas close in. A frantic chorus of shrieks and manic whoops fills the air, fixed intently upon their quarry. From the deep cover of the tall grass, a massive, shadowed figure materializes. The male lion, the undisputed sovereign of this open savanna, has finally arrived. Nearly 500 pounds of pure muscle charges directly into the pack, delivering devastating, bone-shattering strikes. Those triumphant whoops instantly transform into frantic squeals of sheer terror. The scavengers break rank, scattering wildly into the brush in a desperate scramble for survival. The formidable male stands a vigilant guard, allowing his exhausted mate to rest in absolute peace. Beneath the blazing Serengeti sun, an ancient sovereignty is fiercely reclaimed, and absolute victory belongs to the lion. The sun stands directly overhead. Temperatures surge past 104 degrees Fahrenheit. The scorching heat forces both lion and hyena to abandon the carcass and retreat, panting, into whatever shade they can find. The savanna sinks into stillness. Yet precisely when every creature flees the sun, a third predator emerges. Lacking the lion's bulk to bring down large prey, lacking the hyena's numbers, this hunter wields speed as its sole weapon. Through the searing glare, a pale gold silhouette glides across the plain. Leaner than a lion, taller than a hyena. Its frame is so streamlined it resembles a masterwork of aeronautical engineering. The cheetah, the fastest land animal on Earth. "70 miles per hour, 0 to 60 in just 3 seconds. Acceleration that humbles most supercars. Each stride spans 23 feet. At peak velocity, all 4 paws leave the ground simultaneously. The cheetah does not run, it flies across the grass tops. A flexible spine coils and uncoils like a spring, extending each stride by 30%. Nasal passages flare wide to gulp air. An enormous heart, the largest of any cat, pumps oxygen-rich blood furiously into every fiber of muscle, burning at capacity. Semi-retractable claws grip the earth at all times, like the spikes on a sprinter's shoes. A long tail acts as a rudder, enabling 90-degree turns at terrifying speed without the slightest loss of momentum. Under the harsh sun, 2 black lines running from inner eye to mouth, the tear marks, reveal their true purpose. They absorb glare, cutting reflected light exactly the way black grease paint works beneath a football player's eyes. Every detail of the cheetah's body serves one singular purpose: to run. Yet, therein lies the tragedy. The most perfect biomechanical machine is also the most fragile. The cheetah locks onto its target, a small Thompson's gazelle, barely 65 pounds, standing about 230 feet away. The cheetah wastes no time stalking. On open grassland, speed is the only advantage, and speed demands distance to ignite. It explodes forward. Dust billows beneath the midday sun. Six seconds. The race for survival ends in precisely 6 seconds. A single swipe of the forepaw, the quarry collapses. Jaws close over the throat. A cheetah's bite force is modest, only 400 psi, so it must clamp the windpipe shut until the gazelle suffocates. Yet the most brutal contest always begins after the kill. Hunting at midday is a gamble. The cheetah's core temperature rockets to 105 degrees Fahrenheit after a chase, the threshold of brain damage. It slumps down, gasping, utterly defenseless for 15 minutes before it can swallow the first mouthful. "15 minutes of vulnerability. That is the window every thief on the savannah craves." Even at noon, if a hyena catches the scent, the kill is seized. If a lion spots the carcass, the kill is seized. In certain regions, cheetahs lose up to half their hard-won kills to larger predators. Three empires, 3 strategies, 3 prices to be paid. The lion pays with heaviness. Those long hours sprawled on the grass are not laziness, but a careful hoarding of every calorie for a single explosive moment that may never arrive. The hyena pays with prejudice, branded a filthy scavenger, despised across centuries of human contempt. When in truth, they rank among the most efficient hunters with one of the most sophisticated social structures on Earth. The cheetah pays with everything else, sacrificing raw power and fighting ability for 3 seconds of glory at 70 miles per hour. Yet all 3 share one truth: none of them chose their battlefield. The Serengeti chose them. Two million years of evolution on the same scorched earth, beneath the same blazing sky, and nature has sculpted 3 radically different answers to the same brutal question. How to feed, how to endure, and how to avoid being erased from this world entirely. And that is the most astonishing truth about life on this planet. The same pressure, yet never the same answer. On the sun-baked savannas of Africa, the answer is strength, numbers, and speed. But take that same question, how to survive when everything conspires toward death, and pose it where oxygen is halved, temperatures plunge to -40 degrees Fahrenheit, and winds lash at 70 miles per hour. The answer transforms entirely. The Himalayas, home to 14 peaks above 26,000 feet, the rooftop of the planet, are not one world. They are many worlds stacked upon each other. With every 1,000 feet of altitude gained, oxygen thins, temperature drops, food grows scarcer, and the reigning predator changes entirely. At the mountain's base, humid tropical forest conceals one of the most formidable hunters on Earth. On the rocky flanks, blue sheep traverse vertical cliff faces no other creature dares imitate. And at the summit, wolves, whose howls pierce the valley patrol plateau where oxygen has all but vanished. The question is not who is strongest, but who can endure to the final peak. Yet the phantom on the cliff is not alone. Below the cloud line, an entirely different empire operates. And it begins where trees grow, shade falls, and a deep growl resonates. Between roughly 3,000 and 8,000 feet, the Himalayan foothills are cloaked in tropical forest, where sunlight must struggle to reach the ground. This is the kingdom of the Bengal tiger. Weighing 400 to nearly 600 pounds, the Bengal tiger is the second largest cat on the planet, surpassed only by the Siberian tiger. A pattern of stripes unique to every individual, like a human fingerprint, provides flawless camouflage amid the dappled light filtering through the canopy. canine teeth exceeding 3 inches in length, the longest of any living cat. A heart, proportionally twice the size of a comparable big cat's, generates devastating bursts of power, yet only over short distances. A Bengal tiger exhausts rapidly if a chase extends beyond 160 feet. A tongue armored with razor-sharp keratin spines, capable of stripping flesh clean from bone. Night vision 6 times sharper than a human's, and a nervous system that processes motion at a speed few prey animals can match. Beneath the canopy, a herd of chital, axis, one of the most abundant deer species in the Himalayan foothills, browse tender shoots among the bamboo. Weighing 100 to 170 pounds, their white-spotted coats over russet hide blend seamlessly into the forest's broken light. Ears rotate ceaselessly, eyes scan the shadows. They know the enemy is always near, but never where. The Bengal tiger needs no darkness. It is the darkness. An adult Bengal tiger can consume up to 40 pounds of meat in a single feeding, then fast for days on end. It advances upwind, belly pressed to the earth. The chital stands barely 100 feet away. Hunt success rates hover around 10 to 20%, meaning for every 10 ambushes, 8 or 9 end in failure. Patience is the true weapon. £400 of muscle erupt through the tall grass. 3 seconds, no more. The Bengal tiger drags its quarry into the forest shadow, vanishing as though it never existed. India is now home to roughly 3,200 Bengal tigers, accounting for 75% of the world's wild Bengal tiger population. The IUCN lists the species as endangered, its green status assessment for 2025 rates. It critically depleted, meaning that despite rising numbers, the population remains vastly below full ecological recovery. Yet even the sovereign of the lowlands has limits. The Bengal tiger's supremacy depends on forest canopy and the dense, oxygen-rich air of lower elevations. With every foot gained in altitude, that advantage vanishes. A heavy body becomes a burden, and massive lungs demand oxygen the thinning air cannot provide. The Bengal tiger never climbs too high. This is not a choice. It is biology. But the pressure tigers exert below triggers a domino effect upward. Species threatened by them gradually seek terrain where no Bengal tiger can follow. That terrain is sheer cliff face, where survival is measured not by strength, but by the ability to grip bare rock. At about 8,000 to 16,000 feet, forest gives way to exposed rock walls and winds that cut to the bone. On near vertical surfaces approaching 90 degrees, faces that from a distance appear to offer no foothold whatsoever, one mammal moves with uncanny confidence. The Himalayan tahr, powerfully built, draped in a thick, shaggy mane that fans across the shoulders and chest like a winter greatcoat, the male weighing over 200 pounds. Tahr live in herds of 15 to 40 individuals. Their hooves split into two sections. A soft inner core grips slick stone, while a hard outer rim of keratin finds invisible crevices the human eye cannot detect. Every step a tahr places on a vertical wall is a problem in physics. Weight distributed, friction calculated, center of gravity shifted, all executed in a fraction of a second without conscious thought. Across near vertical slopes, tahr move with staggering assurance, each step planted firm and unhesitating, as though gravity were a law that applied only to others. tahr are not alone on these mountainsides. On gentler rock slopes where short grasses sprout between boulders, another species appears in far greater numbers, and its role in the Himalayan ecosystem surpasses that of any other mountain mammal. Pseudois near, a scientific name meaning false goat, because taxonomists debated for decades whether it was goat or sheep. The answer? Neither, but a distinct evolutionary lineage that diverged from a common ancestor roughly 15 million years ago. The Baharal, the blue sheep of the Himalaya, inhabits elevations of about 10,000 to 18,000 feet, occasionally ascending to about 20,000 feet, one of the highest dwelling large mammals on Earth. Its blue-gray pelage, a color born from the interplay of gray and brown hair shafts, blends so seamlessly into granite that a herd of 50 can vanish before an observer's eyes simply by standing still. Males weigh up to 75 pounds, bearing horns that curve outward then twist sharply backward, utterly unlike the horns of any ordinary goat or sheep. Females weigh 35 to 55 pounds with smaller, straighter horns. The hooves possess a remarkable architecture. A hard outer rim grips rock crevices, while a soft inner pad increases friction on flat surfaces, permitting a sense of near-vertical cliff faces without a single slip. In winter, when food grows scarce, smaller bands merge into vast congregations, sometimes 200 or even 400 strong. Baral are the cornerstone, the central prey species sustaining every major predator across the Himalaya. From snow leopard to wolf to golden eagle, all depend upon these blue sheep. Without Baral, the high peaks would fall silent. The snow leopard, the tiger's closest relative on the evolutionary tree, yet 4 million years of divergence have carried it down an entirely different path. Weighing 90 to 120 pounds, barely a quarter of a tiger's mass, every element of its anatomy is engineered for cliff and snow. A tail measuring 90% of its body length serves as a counterbalance during leaps and wraps around the nose during sleep to warm each inhaled breath. Broad paws sheathed in dense fur function as natural snowshoes, distributing weight, insulating against cold, and muffling every footfall into silence. Enlarged nasal cavities warm and humidify frigid air before it reaches the lungs. Hind legs longer than the forelegs create the perfect launch angle on steep terrain. Overdeveloped chest and shoulder muscles deliver the pulling force needed to scale vertical rock. The snow leopard is the only great cat incapable of roaring, owing to a uniquely structured hyoid bone. In its place, the cat produces a pruston, a puffing exhalation through the nostrils, used as a greeting. A single baharal has separated from the herd, climbing toward a far slope in search of fresher grass. The snow leopard creeps forward, belly pressed flat against cold stone. The distance shrinks. Then it launches, hurtling downward with gravity along a 45-degree rock face, tail lashing sideways to hold its line. The outcome is decided in under 2 seconds. And that is only the battle on the ground. Above, another hunter has observed it all from over 6,000 feet in the sky. Its weapon is neither claw nor fang. It is gravity itself. Aquila chrysaetos, the golden eagle, wingspan over 7 feet, weighing 8 to 14 pounds. The nape feathers gleam gold in sunlight, the trait that bestows its name. Eyes possessing 8 times human visual acuity, capable of spotting a rabbit-sized target from 2 miles away. Two foveae in each eye, one for distant vision, one for close range. An optical system no artificial lens can rival. Talons exerting a grip exceeding 400 psi, stronger than a crocodile's jaws. A ratchet-like tendon mechanism locks that grip without muscular effort. Once the talons close, prey has no chance of escape. It rides thermal updrafts rising from sun-baked cliff faces, scarcely beating its wings. From over 6,000 feet, those eyes sweep the ground below and lock onto a brown speck moving between two boulders on the plateau beneath. The Himalayan marmot, 9 pounds of muscle wrapped in dense fur, living in family groups on rocky plateaus at about 13,000 to 18,000 feet. The largest rodent of the high Himalaya, body length reaching 24 inches, a tail of 6 inches, tawny brown fur along the back, a darker belly, and a face marked by distinctive dark patches. They hibernate for 6 to 8 months each year, one of the deepest sleeps in the mammalian world. Heart rate plummets from 200 beats per minute to just 30. Breathing drops from 60 breaths per minute to a mere 1 or 2. Metabolic rate collapses to less than 5% of its summer level. When spring arrives, they awaken with fewer than 4 months to accumulate enough fat, doubling their body weight before the next hibernation begins. Every single day is a race against time. But every single day is also a gamble with death. To survive beneath skies rife with peril, the marmot family maintains a magnificent early warning system. A large male stands upright on the tallest boulder, serving as permanent sentinel. Its eyes scan the sky without pause. The instant a dark silhouette glides overhead, the sentinel unleashes a piercing shriek, signaling the entire colony to flee. And at this very moment, a golden eagle materializes in the sky. Powerful, thunderous wing beats rip through the thin air. The eagle drops to hug the terrain, borrowing momentum as it slices across the mountainside at terrifying speed. Its vast shadow races over the grass. The sentinel screams, a razor-sharp cry tearing across the plateau. 3 seconds. The marmot has exactly 3 seconds to escape. Hind legs explode off the ground, 9 pounds of body hurtling in a frenzy toward the burrow entrance, about 50 feet of short, open grass, marking the boundary between life and death. Dust erupts. Grass shreds apart, but the talons strike only bare earth. The marmot has vanished into the darkness of its deep burrow in a fraction of a heartbeat. This time, the sentinel has saved the colony. And here lies the supreme paradox of the Himalaya. Snow leopard, wolf, golden eagle, 3 apex predators, each armed differently, each commanding a different battlefield. All of them depend upon the smallest creature on the range, the marmot, 9 pounds. Remove it from the equation and the ecosystem collapses. The eagle loses its primary prey. The wolf loses its fallback food source when winter drags on. Abandoned marmot burrows no longer create the microhabitats that sustain grasses and insects. On the Himalaya, the most powerful creature is not the largest, but the one that feeds them all. Across the entire planet, only one great cat lives in social groups, and only that group dares contest power in ways no other predator has ever attempted. A coalition of 6 males seized 170,000 acres. The new king slaughtered cubs to erase the old bloodline. A dynasty endured for a few years, then collapsed, and the new king rose upon the body of the old. This is the lion, the only species to turn the savannah into a political battleground where every mane, every scar, every roar carries the weight of power. But today's story is not only about power. It is about identity, the force that compels one species sharing the same genome to produce utterly different kings on every stretch of land. Welcome to Nature's Moments, where we explore the most extraordinary stories that nature has written across millions of years of evolution. From the highlands of Tanzania to the Namib desert, from India's Gir forest to Kenya's Savannah, each land has forged an entirely different version of the king. In some places, the crown of mane grows so thick it conceals the shoulders. In others, the mane vanishes entirely, yet the king still reigns. One population once dwindled to just 12 individuals, then resurged to nearly 900. A white variant is so rare that fewer than 13 exist in the wild. One question runs through this entire journey. When the land demands that a king surrender his very crown, what remains? Timbavati, northeastern South Africa, where savanna yields to open woodland and sunlight filtering through the canopy illuminates a coat unlike any lion on earth. White, not albino, the eyes retain pigment, the paw pads hold color. This is leucism, a condition entirely distinct. The cause lies within the TYR gene tyrosinase, where a 260G2A mutation reduces melanin production in the hair shaft. This mutation is recessive. Both parents must carry a copy for offspring to be born with a white coat. The result is a creature of staggering beauty. But in the wild, such beauty is a death sentence. A white coat reflects light, rendering the white lion nearly incapable of camouflage while hunting. On the golden savanna, they stand out like snow in midsummer. Here, identity meets paradox. The very trait that makes the white lion unique is also what threatens its survival. Yet white lions endure, because lions are the only great cat to live in prides, and the pride shields what the individual cannot. When a white lion cannot ambush alone, the pride drives prey toward it. When it is too conspicuous to enemies, the dark-maned lions hold the front line. Still, rarity is unforgiving. Fewer than 13 white lions are estimated to exist in the wild at any given moment. The Global White Lion Protection Trust, headquartered in Timbavati, works to reintroduce individuals bred under conservation conditions back to their ancestral lands. A battle to preserve identity for kings that nature painted in its brightest hue and its most fragile. If the white mane is the rarest, then at the opposite end of the spectrum lies a mane so dark it seems to absorb the night itself. Sunset pours fire across the rim of the Ngorongoro crater, where sheer cliffs encircle a valley spanning 100 square miles amid the Tanzanian highlands. Beneath the dew-laden grass, a dark shape moves slow, commanding, and utterly silent. This is the black-maned lion of Ngorongoro, bearing the thickest, darkest mane in the entire lion world. At an elevation of 6,500 feet, average temperatures hover between 66 and 73 degrees Fahrenheit, markedly cooler than the plains below. And it is precisely that cold which allows the black mane to exist. For the black mane is no ornament, it is a burden. Research by West and Packer in 2002 at the University of Minnesota demonstrated that darker manes correlate directly with higher testosterone, superior health, and greater resilience after injury. But a black mane also absorbs heat. In hot regions, it becomes a curse, draining the lion faster, diminishing its hunting success, and shortening its life. Only at Ngorongoro, where the highland holds cold year-round, does the black mane serve as a crown, not a chain. Experiments using model lion decoys revealed that females consistently preferred darker manes, while rival males avoided them. If Ngorongoro maximizes the black mane, then farther east in Africa, a version of the king has lost something far more significant. Tsavo, Kenya, 3 degrees south of the equator, 8,500 square miles of dense thorn bush, where daytime temperatures routinely exceed 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Here, the mane does not exist. Male Tsavo lions are nearly bald, smooth heads, bare necks, without a single notable strand of mane. Placed beside a Ngorongoro lion, they appear to be two different species. But they are one, same species, same core genome. The only difference, the land. Extreme heat combined with dense thorn bush, where every step means threading through walls of razor-sharp thorns, has stripped the mane from the Tsavo lion. A long mane snags on thorns, absorbs heat, and becomes a liability for survival. Researchers hypothesize that testosterone in Tsavo lions remains high, yet its outward expression has changed completely. The hormone endures. Only the crown has vanished. No mane, but greater agility and dense scrub. No visual signal for rivals, but fewer wounds across treacherous terrain. Tsavo has sculpted a bear king, and that king still reigns. This contrast strikes at the heart of the central question: does identity reside in the mane or in the blood? If Ngorongoro maximizes the black mane and Tsavo erases it altogether, then between these extremes lives a lion population belonging to neither. They inhabit the genetic crossroads of a continent. Ethiopia, the highland where Africa meets the Arabian Peninsula, where northern and southern gene flows once converged, leaving their imprint upon a lion population unlike any other on Earth. DNA microsatellite and mitochondrial analysis reveals that Ethiopian lions are a genetically distinct population, the last bridge between Africa's northern and southern lineages. Their bodies are more compact than those of plains lions. The dark mane near black extends down to the belly, creating an unmistakable silhouette found nowhere else. But uniqueness does not shield them from peril. Only 800 to 1100 individuals remain, fragmented across 3 isolated regions: Babil, Kaffa, and Alatash. Each small population lives in genetic isolation, and with every passing generation, the gene pool narrows further. This is not merely the story of lions losing habitat. This is the story of a genetic bridge fracturing, and when it breaks entirely, a portion of the lion species' identity will vanish forever. Conservationists have proposed classifying Ethiopian lions as a separate management unit, acknowledging that losing them means losing irreplaceable genetic diversity, not merely numbers. But the story of near-total collapse, followed by resurrection, does not belong to Ethiopia. Dusk vanishes abruptly over Ngorongoro. In the darkness, the black-maned pride awakens. They rest between 15 and 20 hours each day. Males may sleep up to 20. This is not laziness. This is an energy strategy. Every calorie stored through the long day is unleashed in those decisive moments when nightfall transforms the savannah into the hunter's stage. A lion's eyes perceive darkness 6 to 8 times better than human eyes, thanks to the tapetum lucidum, a reflective layer behind the retina. Moonlight that appears faint to humans is enough for a lion to read every movement of its prey. Tonight, the target is the African buffalo. A mature bull weighs up to 1,900 pounds. Exceptional individuals can approach 2,000. Fused horns atop the skull form a bony shield called the boss, hard enough to withstand a lion's fangs. This is no easy quarry. This is the most dangerous creature Ngorongoro's lions confront on a regular basis. Their dark manes merging seamlessly into the night, the phantoms of Ngorongoro glide silently upwind. They narrow the distance with infinite patience. The instant the prey lowers its head to graze less than 100 feet away. The pride erupts, arrows tearing through the darkness. The lead hunter seizes the nape, channeling full force into a lethal bite aimed at crushing the trachea before the colossal beast can counter. Life and death are decided in seconds. The buffalo falls. Buffalo are not the only target. Wildebeest are frequent prey on Ngorongoro nights as well. Wildebeest can sprint up to 50 miles per hour, but sustain that pace only briefly. The lion's strategy is not to outrun its prey, but to materialize closer, more suddenly, where the quarry has no time to react. At night, a wildebeest's detection range shrinks dramatically, and that is all a lion needs. Each successful hunt, though rare, roughly 20 to 30%, sustains the entire pride for days. Each failed hunt squanders precious energy, pushing the lions closer to the threshold of starvation. Night hunting is a game of probability, and Ngorongoro's black-maned lions have evolved to tilt the odds in their favor night after night. But individual prowess, however formidable, has its limits. In the lion's world, true power belongs not to the individual, but to the coalition. Sabi Sands, northeastern South Africa, 2006. 6 male lions entered new territory, and the history of the African savannah would never be the same. They were called the Mapogo, named after the Mapogo, a Mathamaga security company in South Africa, a name that evokes order imposed through force. Six members: Makulu, the largest, likely a half-sibling rather than a full brother, roughly 2 years older, alongside Mr. T, Kinky Tail, Pretty Boy, Rasta, and Scar. For 6 years, the Mapogo controlled approximately 170,000 acres, double the average territory held by a lion coalition. An estimated 100 lions were defeated or killed during their expansion. Eight prides of females fell under their dominion. This was no fairy tale of kingship. This was absolute domination built upon a coalition of 6 operating as a single military unit. The Mapogo's strength lay not in any single individual, but in coordination. Six adult males attacking in unison, a force no pride could withstand. But absolute power does not endure forever. Internal conflict began to tear the coalition apart from within. And pressure from outside a younger, hungrier coalition was closing in. The Ma-Jingilane, originally 5 males, one killed by the Mapogo in June of 2010. The surviving 4 matured and ultimately replaced the Mapogo, ruling for approximately 8 years until around 2018. The cycle of power, old coalitions fall, new ones rise, is the eternal heartbeat of lion society. But the Mapogo were not the only legendary coalition. Across the continent, another band of brothers wrote their own saga. Maasai Mara, Kenya. 4 males born in 2008 from the Olkiombo Pride: Sikio, Marani, Hunter, and Scarface. The world called them the Musketeers. Scarface, bearing a prominent scar above his right eye, became the emblem of the group. A face that anyone who had watched BBC's Big Cat Diary would recognize in an instant. In 2012, the 4 brothers seized control of the Marsh Pride, one of the world's most celebrated lion prides, filmed continuously by the BBC across decades. They replaced the previous males, Romeo and Claude, and founded a new bloodline, not preserving the old lineage, but imposing a new order, a new generation. The Musketeers' territory extended well beyond the Marsh Pride, encompassing Paradise, Mugoro, Topi Plains, and Rekaro. Scarface died of natural causes in June of 2021, at approximately 13 years of age. A remarkable lifespan for a wild male lion, where the average is only 8 to 10 years. From Mapogo to musketeers, 2 coalitions, 2 continents, 1 law. The power of a male lion is temporary, measured in years, not decades. And every dynasty ends the same way, replaced by a younger, stronger generation. But while male lions battle over territory and mating rights, another struggle unfolds more quietly, yet no less fiercely. The lioness's battle does not unfold on an open battlefield. It plays out in the distance between den and prey, a distance where every step carries the life or death of the next generation. When a lioness has young cubs, her identity transforms entirely. She is no longer merely the pride's hunter, she becomes a mother. The creche system, where several lionesses raise cubs communally, forms the very foundation of cub survival. While some mothers hunt, others step-powered. Lion cubs are born nearly blind, weighing less than 4.5 pounds, and wholly dependent on their mother's milk for the first 6 to 8 weeks. During this period, the mother hides her cubs in secluded places, dense thickets, rock caves, cliff crevices, far from the pride. The greatest threat sometimes comes not from enemies beyond the pride, when a new male seizes control. Infanticide, the killing of the previous male's cubs, is a stark reality every lioness faces. Defending cubs is not only about fending off enemies, sometimes it means defying the new king himself. When hunting, the lioness therefore targets the lowest risk prey. Warthogs, a common target, yet even warthogs pose danger. An adult's tusks can inflict severe injuries. Lionesses often prioritize young warthogs, minimizing risk while securing energy for their cubs. The supreme rule here is energy. A lioness will abandon a chase after just 50 yards of failed pursuit, refusing to waste a single calorie. This is nature's brutal arithmetic of survival. But on the savannah, hunger is not everything. The true threat also comes from other predators, more cunning and faster than any lion. African wild dogs. Packs of 10 to 20, with stamina-based pursuit and the highest hunt success rate among Africa's large carnivores, roughly 60 to 90%. They pose no threat to adult lions. But for cubs, especially when the mother is away, wild dogs are a genuine peril. A lioness defends her cubs against wild dogs, not with speed, but with sheer ferocity. One swipe, one roar, enough to drive back an entire pack. Size is the decisive advantage in direct confrontation. Lionesses are the true backbone of every pride. They remain for life, while males come and go. They pass hunting knowledge through generations, which territories are safe, which seasons bring abundant prey, which water sources are reliable. The lioness's identity lies not in a mane, nor in territory. It lies in the distance between a predator's jaws and her cubs, and the resolve to never let that distance reach zero. If the male fights to claim a throne, the female fights to preserve a bloodline. Two forms of identity, flowing through one species. Yet both male and female share a boundary of power that neither crosses easily. The river, a natural frontier dividing two worlds where two apex rulers meet in stalemate. On the bank, the lion reigns. Beneath the water, the Nile crocodile holds absolute dominion. And at the water's edge, no one is truly safe. The Nile crocodile possesses hardened scales, scutes covering its back and flanks, forming a suit of biological armor. But the belly lacking this armor is its most exposed anatomical weakness. When lions must cross a river to follow migrating herds, to expand territory, or simply to reach water, they are forced to enter the crocodile's domain. This is an interspecies conflict. Not revenge, no complex emotions at play. Simply two apex predators atop the food chain, their territories overlapping at a narrow band of water. Lions typically choose the shallowest crossing, where the current runs weakest, but crocodiles know this too. Both rulers read the terrain, and both wait at the same point. The tension at a river crossing where lions are most vulnerable, where crocodiles are strongest, ranks among the most purely dramatic moments in the natural world. Neither side wins forever. The water boundary endures, and both sides respect it, each in their own way. Where do you think the lion's true identity lies? In its mane, its strength, or its territory? Share your thoughts in the comments below. But all these battles, the night hunts, power coalitions, maternal instinct, the water's edge, unfold across generous lands, where rain still falls, where prey remains plentiful. But when the land takes everything, when rain ceases, prey vanishes, and the coastline holds nothing but bones, can a lion still be a lion? Hyena, northwestern Namibia, average rainfall less than 2 inches per year. Some coastal stretches receive just half an inch. This is one of the driest places on Earth where lions still survive. No migrating herds of wildebeest. No endless grasslands. No shade trees to shelter beneath at midday. Only sand, rock, and an empty horizon. The Namib desert lion is the most extreme test of identity. When the land strips away everything a lion needs, prey, water, shade, what remains? The answer: adapt or vanish. Lions here cover greater distances than any population in Africa, sometimes more than 30 miles in a single night, searching for prey scattered across vast expanses. The Sahara, 3.5 million square miles stretching from the Atlantic to the Red Sea. The largest desert on Earth, where daytime temperatures can exceed 120 degrees Fahrenheit and nights plunge below freezing. Lions once lived here. Then they disappeared, driven out by desertification and humanity. But the desert is not empty. The species that endure here have answered the question of identity in their own way. The dromedary, the one-humped camel, originating from the Arabian Peninsula, domesticated roughly 3,000 to 4,000 years ago. The hump stores fat, not water, a truth many still mistake. The camel's body is an engineering triumph against heat. Core temperature fluctuates between 93 and 108 degrees Fahrenheit, adaptive heterothermy, minimizing sweating and conserving water. When dehydrated, a dromedary can drink between 30 and 37 gallons in a single session. Yet, even the camel, so perfectly adapted, still needs humans. And humans need the camel. An identity shaped by symbiosis, not unlike the Gyr lion's bond with the Maldhari community. But not every species has a partner. In the heart of the Sahara, one species is counting down its final individuals. The addax, the screw-horned antelope, a survivor that never needs to drink, drawing all moisture from vegetation and night dew. Horns measuring 28 to 33 inches on males, elegantly spiraled, serving as both weapon and heat dissipation tool. Fewer than 100 wild addax remain scattered between Niger and Chad. IUCN classification: critically endangered. Addax disperse seeds through dung and enrich soil by digging for plant roots. Losing the addax means losing not just a species, but a vital link in an already fragile desert ecosystem. Fewer than 100. A number so small that every individual carries a name in conservation records. Every death is counted. Every calf born is a statistical miracle. The addax's identity, the ability to live without water, the spiraling horns, the white heat-reflecting coat carried it through millions of years. But identity cannot stop bullets or the off-road vehicles of poachers. Sunset once again sets the vast African savanna ablaze. The wild sovereign stands in silence across the plains, beneath skies where its ancestors roared through thousands of generations. Nature has always been unforgiving. When survival demands that kings shed their proud outer crowns, what defines them is no longer the mane but the killer instinct and an unbreakable will. Identity lies not in appearance, but in blood. And that wild bloodline will flow on so long as there remains a kingdom for them to belong to. Thank you for joining Nature's Moments. The natural world holds countless stories still waiting to be told. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, now is the perfect time. See you in the next story. Dawn blazes across the boundless grasslands, a kingdom where time is not measured in minutes but in a prey animal's final breaths. At the heart of this legendary land, an empire reigns. But its grandeur has always come at the brutal cost of survival. The lion, undisputed sovereign of these sun-scorched plains, possesses not merely raw muscular power, but carries the weight of an entire royal bloodline. The dominant male stands atop a rocky outcrop, his mane rippling in the wind like a banner of absolute authority, scanning the horizon with unwavering vigilance. His scent marks every blade of grass, an invisible signature reminding all trespassers of the price they would pay. His territory stretches across dozens of square miles, land where every inch must be defended with blood. In the shadows of brittle thornbush, young challengers lurk in silence. They wait, patient, cold-blooded. The average reign of a dominant male lasts just 2 to 3 years before a younger, stronger generation arrives to replace him. His roar carries up to 5 miles through the still night air, a declaration of sovereignty that every creature must heed. But the true power of this dynasty lies with the huntresses' silent silhouettes moving through the tall grass with terrifying patience. They hunt in coordinated groups, each lioness occupying a specific tactical position, like players on a field, moving in concert without a word. Hunger is an unforgiving teacher. It drives them to execute high-risk pursuit strategies beneath the scorching sun of the dark continent. Their success rate hovers around just 25%, meaning 3 out of every 4 hunts end in failure. But failure never stops them from trying again. Not far away, a family of warthogs forages diligently in the damp soil, entirely unaware of the death sentence hanging over their heads. The scent of freshly turned earth is enticing, but it is also the very signal that betrays their location. The African warthog possesses razor-sharp tusks and survival instincts honed over millions of years of evolution. Their lower tusks sharpen themselves with every opening and closing of the jaw, a perpetual blade forged by nature's own design. The mother leads her young with extreme caution, her ears rotating constantly to catch the faintest tremors of approaching danger. When fleeing, their tails stand bolt upright like signal flags, a follow me beacon, ensuring the piglets never lose their way. Despite their small stature, warthogs can reach speeds of 30 miles per hour, fast enough to outrun most predators if detected in time. Silence here is often a deceiving illusion. It conceals a storm about to break from behind the dusty thickets. The lionesses have closed in, muscles coiled beneath golden hides, each step as weightless as the air itself. Their coordination is a masterpiece of military strategy, an invisible trap tightening with every second. One cuts off the northern escape route, while a second closes in from the east, leaving no way out. When the distance narrows enough to feel the prey's breath, silence is torn apart by a threatening roar and a cloud of red dust. The attack is over in an instant. A display of killer instinct refined across 1,000 generations. A precise lunge ends all hope of resistance. Leaving a haunting silence across the vast grassland. On this land, the sacrifice of one life is the price paid for the survival of another in nature's unending cycle. The piglets flee in terror toward the burrow, reversing in so their tusks face outward, their very first lesson in the art of defense. And from the shadows, the glinting eyes of hyenas watch and wait, ready to claim whatever remains. As the shadow of the hunt fades, a harsh social order reveals itself under the midday sun. The feast of the sovereign is never a fair or peaceful affair. The male lion approaches with full majesty, using sheer dominance to claim first rights over the freshly fallen prey. This is the privilege of the one who holds power over life and death, an immutable law that has maintained royal bloodlines for centuries. The females must wait their turn, despite being the ones who sweated and bled in the hunt. Yet the scent of blood and fresh meat quickly rouses other opportunists across the plain. Spotted hyenas, predators brimming with cunning, are gathering in the shade of ancient acacia trees. Hyenas are far more than scavengers, as many believe they are formidable hunters in their own right, securing up to 70% of their food through their own kills. Their wild, cackling laughter echoes across the landscape, not joy, but a psychological tactic probing the patience of opponents. They do not rush in, but wait for the smallest opening to seize another's hard-won prize. The standoff between apex hunters and nature's cleanup crew is a battle of wits that has played out for millions of years. Meanwhile, another story begins quieter, but no less heartbreaking. The orphaned warthog piglets, now utterly alone, search desperately for shelter in dark earthen hollows. Without their mother's protection, primal instinct is their only compass between the boundary of life and death. They must learn to tell the sound of wind through dry grass from the footsteps of a stalking enemy. Their survival depends entirely on the speed of their adaptation and the unyielding perseverance encoded in their bloodline. The grassland never has room for weakness, but it always offers a chance to those who rise from loss. Yet what comes next will prove that no throne lasts forever. The reign of a male lion is never built on a foundation of permanent safety. The arrival of nomadic males from distant lands carries the pungent scent of rebellion. They observe from afar, measuring the strength of the current sovereign through every labored breath and heavy step. A battle for power is about to erupt, where fangs and courage will decide who controls the future of the pride. Glory is but a fleeting moment. Challenge never ends. Where the boundless grasslands of the Masai Mara merge with the still alkaline shores of Lake Nakuru. Every landscape becomes a living stage for the most remarkable stories nature has ever told. From the sun-baked plains of Samburu in the north to the foot of Kilimanjaro in the south, this is a land where every creature carries within it a story. A story of strength, intelligence, and unyielding spirit. Welcome to Nature's Moments, where we explore the greatest wonders the natural world has to offer. When darkness descends upon the grasslands of the Masai Mara, the eerie call of one of Africa's most misunderstood predators pierces the night, the spotted hyena. A creature as adaptable as it is intelligent, whose reputation rarely captures the depth of its behavior or the sophistication of its social life. Contrary to popular belief, spotted hyenas are far more than scavengers. They are skilled hunters and true masters of survival. They live in tightly structured clans, led by a dominant female, the matriarch. She enforces order and directs the group's strategies. Some clans number over 80 members, each with a defined role within the community. Cooperation lies at the heart of hyena society. Mutual grooming, playful cub interactions, and constant communication strengthen the bonds between members. While some guard the territory, others hunt or care for the young. The division of labor is impressively systematic. Muscular frames, the strongest jaws among all mammals with a bite force of 1100 psi and a distinctive spotted coat, make them unmistakable. Forelegs longer than hind legs create their characteristic sloping posture. Powerful necks allow them to drag and dismember large prey with ease. Though often associated with scavenging, spotted hyenas are exceptional hunters. Their diet ranges from carcasses to animals they bring down themselves. Working in teams, they can overpower large herbivores such as wildebeest or zebras, and even young buffalo, displaying impressive coordination and persistence. Hyenas are also born strategists. They know when to strike and when to wait, ready to challenge lions, yet wise enough to know when to retreat. Their communication is astonishingly complex, a rich combination of sounds, body postures, and scent markings that convey messages across the clan. Their infamous laugh is not amusement. It is language of alarm, frustration, or social ranking. Recent research reveals that hyena social intelligence rivals that of primates. They solve problems collectively, recognize individuals by voice, and remember allies for years. Beneath the moonlit skies of the Masai Mara, spotted hyenas do more than survive. They rule the night with cunning, strength, and formidable intelligence. As the darkness of night yields to the first breath of dawn, another sound begins to rise across the grasslands of the Masai Mara. The deep, resonant roar of the African lion. That sound carries up to 5 miles, a declaration of power that no creature dares ignore. Lions are the only cats that live in social groups. They organize into prides, where every individual plays a role in the survival of the whole. A typical pride consists of several lionesses, their cubs, and a coalition of dominant males. The lionesses form the heart of the pride. Their unity is forged through mutual grooming, coordinated hunts, and the shared duty of raising the next generation. The males, with golden manes and commanding presence, embody authority. They patrol their territory without rest, marking boundaries with scent, ever vigilant against intruders. Challenges from rival coalitions or from opportunists like hyenas and leopards are trials of courage that define their reign. While the males guard the borders, the lionesses are the true strategic minds. They move through the tall grass, communicating with subtle gestures and instincts sharpened over millions of years. Their patience is unmatched. They wait for the perfect moment to strike. And when they do, the savannah erupts in a surge of power and grace. When the hunt succeeds, the feast is shared among all, a reminder that in this world, cooperation is the key to survival. Raising cubs in such an unforgiving environment is a challenge that never relents. The lionesses share the duties of nursing, protecting, and teaching. Under the watchful eyes of mothers and aunts, the cubs play, explore, and begin to absorb the unwritten laws of their kingdom. How to move unseen, how to sense danger, and how to understand the hierarchy that governs their lives. These early lessons shape instinct and character, preparing them for the trials ahead. When they mature, the young males are eventually driven from the pride to forge their own path. Some form coalitions with brothers or peers, embarking on uncertain journeys in search of territory. Only the strongest and most cunning will one day claim a pride of their own, ensuring that the ancient cycle of challenge and legacy endures. But the story of the Masai Mara belongs to more than lions. Each year, this savanna becomes the beating heart of one of the planet's greatest spectacles, the Great Migration. More than 1.3 million wildebeest, joined by hundreds of thousands of zebras and gazelles, cross rivers and confront predators in an endless journey toward greener pastures. Along the banks of the Mara River, a vast congregation of wildebeest and zebras gathers. At the water's edge, their perilous journey nears its climax. One by one, they begin sliding toward the bank. The crossing must begin. The current is fierce, but retreat is not an option. Hidden beneath, dark shapes wait. Nile crocodiles, ancient predators, armored by hundreds of millions of years of evolution. Jaws engineered for a single purpose, to clamp shut and never let go. Bodies stretching up to 16 feet. These are the undisputed rulers of the river. During migration season, the Mara becomes their hunting ground. Submerged in the murky water, they wait with cold patience. And when prey plunges into the water, the crocodile erupts from below. One snap, one death roll. It's over in an instant. In this race for survival, every moment decides fate, and the river knows no mercy. Not all will make it across, but the herd presses forward, driven by instinct and the promise of life on the other side. In the end, the Masai Mara reminds the world of a timeless truth: only the strongest, the swiftest, and the most determined will endure. Along the winding course of the Mara River, tranquility often hides beneath the surface. This is hippopotamus territory. Where calm waters can turn into zones of tension and dominance in an instant. These semi-aquatic giants spend most of the day submerged, shielding themselves from the fierce African sun. Eyes, ears, and nostrils positioned atop their massive heads allow them to remain nearly invisible underwater while staying alert to everything around them. Yet the importance of hippos to the Mara ecosystem extends far beyond their imposing size. Each night, as darkness falls, hippos emerge from the water and move into the surrounding grasslands. They graze the vegetation short, preventing overgrowth and maintaining open areas that benefit countless other species. Their nutrient-rich dung acts as natural fertilizer, nourishing both soil and water, sustaining a fragile chain of life from tiny aquatic organisms to the large herbivores that depend on these plains. Beneath the still surface, however, lies a world governed by strength. Hippos are fiercely territorial, particularly the dominant males. Each defends his section of the river with unwavering determination, patrolling constantly and watching for any sign of intrusion. When a rival dares to cross the line, confrontation becomes inevitable, a dramatic display of power in the heart of Africa's wild waterways. Dominance rituals among hippos are both spectacular and intimidating. With jaws wide open, the males reveal their massive tusks, some stretching up to 20 inches. Their bellows echo above and below the water. In seconds, calm waters erupt into crashing waves, swirling foam, and raw, unleashed power. These confrontations are rarely fatal, but they clearly define who commands the territory and who must yield. Such is life in the realm of the hippopotamus, a precarious balance between serenity and conflict, where stillness can become thunder in the blink of an eye. Leaving the ground behind, the skies above the Masai Mara reveal another world, a living canvas of sound and color. Dawn does not merely wake the predators. It fills the heavens with a symphony of song and shimmer. Among the acacia branches, a flash of iridescent light reveals a winged jewel, the lilac-breasted roller. Its plumage, a stunning blend of violet, turquoise, and emerald, gleams under the African sun as though the sky itself had descended to rest upon the earth. Watchful and precise, it perches high, waiting for the faintest stir. Then, in a sudden burst, it dives with flawless accuracy, seizing its prey. Its diet is remarkably varied, ranging from large insects like beetles and grasshoppers to small lizards and even young snakes. High above, vultures soar on warm thermals, their broad wings stretched across the sky. They are the silent custodians of the wild nature's own sanitation crew. With extraordinary eyesight, they can detect death from miles away. Their powerful stomach acids destroy harmful bacteria and toxins, preventing disease from spreading. Within that stark purpose lies renewal. The unbroken cycle of life, sustained through death. Farther north, nature unveils one of its most breathtaking spectacles. Along Kenya's alkaline lakes, Nakuru, Bogoria, and Magadi, the horizon transforms into a living sea of pink. Millions of flamingos gather in the shallow waters, tinted by algae and microorganisms that give their feathers their vivid hue. Under the blazing sun, the shores shimmer as though the world itself were aflame in shades of rose and crimson. These tireless travelers live in harmony with the seasons. Following the rains, flamingos migrate according to water levels and food supply. Slender legs and graceful necks embody elegance. Their uniquely shaped beaks filter food from the mud with astonishing precision. Their feet stir the lake bed in a silent dance of survival. The life of a flamingo is a story of endurance and motion. They face predators, drought, habitat loss, and shifting climates. Yet their tenacity mirrors the indomitable spirit of Africa itself. For as long as Kenya's pink lakes persist, the sky will continue to reflect their beauty. A living symbol of hope, painted by wings that turn the air into poetry. Right upon those alkaline shores, where the pink hue of the flamingos retreats to give way to the grasslands, another symbol of hope stands tall, the white rhinoceros. Prehistoric giants that seem sculpted by time itself, with thick armor-like skin and impressive horns. They embody the raw strength and endurance of Africa's wild heart. At first glance, their massive frames and deliberate gait evoke sheer power. But beneath that formidable exterior lies a peaceful creature. Guided by calm instincts and a natural sense of balance. The white rhino is a gentle grazer, patiently spending most of its day feeding on the short grasses carpeting Nakuru's open plains. Its broad, square-shaped mouth is perfectly adapted for trimming grass close to the ground. By keeping the grass short, these rhinos play a vital ecological role, maintaining the balance of the savanna and allowing countless other species to thrive. Unlike its more solitary cousin, the black rhino, the white rhino is a social animal. They are often seen in small groups, composed of females and their calves. Mature males are fiercely territorial, marking their domains with dung mounds and scent. Despite their strength, serious conflicts are rare. Confrontations are most often resolved through warnings rather than violence. The young remain under the constant watch of their mothers, learning early the essential rules of survival: how to sense danger, locate hidden water, and navigate safely through tall grass. For the first 3 years, the bond between mother and calf is unbreakable, a relationship of tenderness, protection, and discipline. At Nakuru, the white rhino is more than a survivor. It is a symbol of hope. The park has become a vital sanctuary for their recovery, thanks to strict protection measures and round-the-clock patrols. Community-based conservation programs also play a critical role. These combined efforts have allowed white rhino populations to stabilize, rewriting what was once a story of near extinction into one of resilience and renewal. From where in the world are you watching this documentary about Kenya's amazing wildlife? Let Nature's Moments know in the comments below. But life within the lakes of the Great Rift Valley does not unfold on land alone. Leaving Nakuru behind for the fresh waters of Lake Naivasha, an absolute sovereign now rules the skies, the African fish eagle. Spanning more than 54 square miles, this shimmering lake, fringed by papyrus reeds and acacia forests, shelters a thriving avian ecosystem. Among its most distinguished residents is the African fish eagle, the undisputed monarch of these skies. With a wingspan exceeding 6.5 feet and striking plumage of white, chestnut, and black, its very presence commands admiration. A masterful hunter. The fish eagle possesses vision so sharp it can spot a fish glinting below the surface from great heights. With powerful precision, it dives swiftly, talons extended to seize its prey, a perfect embodiment of nature's strength and design. From the skies of the Masai Mara, the journey leads north to Samburu, a land where life persists against all odds. Across sun-scorched plains, rocky hills, and thorny acacia trees, every creature fights to survive in an unforgiving wilderness. The Owasso-Nyiro River winds through the heart of this dry land, the sole lifeline that sustains it all. Born from the slopes of Mount Kenya, its russet waters carry life to a place where death seems to hold the advantage. Among Samburu's most remarkable inhabitants stands the reticulated giraffe, the true emblem of this rugged region. Its coat, patterned with a delicate network of white lines over a rich orange-brown ground, looks as if painted by nature's own hand. Graceful and silent, they feed on the highest acacia leaves. A prehensile tongue measuring up to 18 inches, dark blue-black to resist sunburn. Deftly plucking foliage while avoiding thorns, a skill honed by millions of years of evolution. Calm and social by nature, reticulated giraffes live in loose herds, where mothers guard their young with absolute vigilance. Males engage in ritualized contests, known as necking, entwining their necks and delivering powerful blows to assert dominance. A display where apparent elegance conceals astonishing strength. Beyond their beauty, reticulated giraffes play a vital ecological role. By pruning the acacias, they stimulate new growth, keeping the savanna diverse. Another jewel of the African savanna calls Samburu home the Grevy's zebra. Its coat, a masterpiece of fine black stripes over a pure white background, paired with large rounded ears, sets it apart from all other zebras. Every pattern is unique, like a fingerprint. No two are alike. Perfectly adapted to arid ecosystems, the Grevy's zebra has developed specialized grazing habits and social structures to thrive where water and food are scarce. Herds composed mainly of females, and their foals travel vast distances seeking fresh pastures, while males guard small territories near water sources. But behind that beauty lies a troubling truth. The Grevy's zebra is listed as endangered by the IUCN. Only about 3,000 individuals remain worldwide, over 90% of them in northern Kenya. Their disciplined and cooperative behavior reflects an ancient harmony with the harsh rhythm of Africa's dry lands. In the dense thickets surrounding Lake Bogoria, One of East Africa's most elusive creatures moves like a whisper, the greater kudu. With a slender frame, golden brown coat adorned with delicate white stripes, and magnificent spiral horns stretching up to 6 feet. It stands as one of the continent's most graceful and admired antelopes. Shy and secretive, the greater kudu avoids human presence, preferring to roam during the cool hours of dawn and dusk. It feeds on leaves, shoots, and wild fruits, using its long neck and nimble tongue to reach high branches. In the midday heat, it remains hidden among the bush, relying on camouflage to evade predators. Solitary males join females only during the breeding season. They engage in ritualized contests, locking their spiraled horns to compete for mating rights in displays of strength rather than true violence. The females, smaller and hornless, devote themselves to caring for their calves, keeping them hidden in the undergrowth until they are strong enough to move with the herd. To witness one in the wild is a fleeting privilege, a moment when nature reveals its most noble and mysterious face.